So I was kind of at a loss for a topic this week, then Netflix started dying. So I figured I'd give a little bit of my macro thoughts because I'm not particularly invested in Netflix. I don't care that much, and so I don't consider this a deep dive. But I see a lot of these people politically motivated on the right side, constantly iterating the whole go woke, go broke situation, but they keep appending and fixating things to the stock price and what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you why I think they're wrong. Also, because I know this is the day and age we live in, but I'm not left or right. I don't care. I'm not going to promote the individuals because I know how people are nowadays. And let's get this straight. I don't hate these individuals. I just disagree with them. I mainly just disagree with how they're kind of portraying the situation. And a lot of the ways that they're doing it is they're essentially farting into the wind to pander to their audience. And I disagree with that. I feel like there should be a little bit more context and a little bit more thought out than that, even on top of what I say. But again, these are just the thoughts I wanted to get off my chest. To give you a quick rundown, Netflix's stock has been taking quite a beating, and a lot of the political pundits on the right side keep saying it's because go woke, go broke. Now, what drives me absolutely crazy, and this is equally applied for both sides, if you are so strong in your convictions, why are you never playing against a company? Like, for example, again, I'm not legally advocating you guys take a position long or short in this thing, but when I'm strong in my convictions, I take a position because I felt that strongly enough that I wanted to put my money where my mouth was. And, the consequences of such is that either I'm right and I get paid for it, or I'm wrong and I pay the price for it. What also kind of annoys me is that some of these right-sided talking heads would say woke shows like Sense8 or Orange is the New Black or, Dear White People are the problem because no one's watching it and so forth or whatever, right? I don't think it's unwarranted, but I personally have no interest in those shows as well. But I think it's also disingenuous to say that because when something like, I don't know, Dave Chappelle's comedy special comes out, which is hilarious, by the way, both sides are, acting like, they're essentially missing the entire point. They're both acting like cats chasing a laser pointer because Netflix was a platform designed to be edgy on both sides, not just one. And, they're supposed to be a great platform with edgy content that you can't see anywhere else. But these people, these talking heads, both on the left and the right, keep taking these minuscule arguments and trying to, cater to a political lean and so forth and attribute it to the stock price and benefits or punishments or some crap like that. And they miss the entire point, which is Netflix, in my opinion, isn't doing so well because they keep ignoring the business side of it. So what do I mean by business side? And to me, it's kind of like a broad spectrum concept. And granted, there's no way to kind of pigeonhole every single little issue, but I'll do my best. The first problem I see is that they changed their business model. If you guys haven't noticed, they started releasing part one in 1 month and then part two in a subsequent month to extend their subscriptions, compared to their old business model, which was to binge watch everything in a single afternoon and so forth, right? So let me get this straight. I'm just trying to put this in retrospective here. You cultivated an entire audience that has zero patience, and now you're expecting them to grow some patience. On top of all this, you increased the price of subscriptions and are now wanting to cut down on password sharing. And if that wasn't bad enough, you also are entertaining the idea of adding ads into your platform. And to add the sprinkles and the cherry on top, you're doing this at a time where the economy is about to go into recession. If you guys didn't know, we're going to a recession, surprise. As well as, why not kick you while you're down? Inflation sprinkled on top of that. You know what would have been a better sell if they just said, yeah, we have to increase our prices because inflation happens, guys. So how would I save Netflix and their business model? Business-wise, I'm not one to talk because I'm not a co-CEO or any executive over at Netflix or anything like that. But I would lean into the data. Since I lack that, speculative-wise, I would say listen to your audience. You would start by asking your subscribers, what content do they want to watch? You start with a simple concept like that, and you add a little bit of a twist. And my twist to that would be each month you get one vote. That vote can be used towards a TV show or a movie where maybe it's a new show or a new movie where there's only like a small little trailer that they made, or maybe a season 2 of a show that they can commit their vote to. And every single month they get one vote on top of that to put onto that show. And if it hits X amount of votes or whatever the budget is for that show, then it gets made. Something along the lines of that. This model works incredibly well for a lot of the Patreon projects out there I've seen where it's a game, movie, comic book, TV show, whatever, that sort of thing, because there are fans out there that truly believe in the product and are willing to pay more than what the actual retail price or the initial admission price is because they truly believe it and they want to see it actually happen. By the way, I have a Patreon down below. Feel free to subscribe. And if Ted Sarandos or Reed Hastings sees this and applies this to Netflix, which again, very long shot, but if they do, and it saves Netflix, I mean, I wouldn't mind a fat check from you or maybe some stock or something like that. Bring me in. I'd love to have a chat. To round off my first point, I think there's a way that you can tie in your subscription to a voting system to, I don't know, make a season 2 or to launch a new TV show or a movie that people are really willing to watch. Because at that point, Netflix gains the ability to engage with their audience and build essentially brand appeal with them, as well as a brand time investment, which kind of rolls into my second point as well. My second point would be to lower the price of subscriptions. No subs would equal no money, but raising the price, especially with what's going on in the world right now, would actually decrease the amount of money that you would bring in because, again, your ultimate goal is to get more subs, right? This also ties in with my previous point. People will dedicate themselves to brands or shows. Obviously, like I said previously, you can subtly infer that one account equals one vote. So if you can get your mom or dad to, subscribe as well, they'll get 2 votes. See where I'm going with this? But similarly, some people are just that diehard. They'll try to manipulate the votes by buying 2 accounts, and they'll try to justify, that purchase however they can or whatever because they feel just that emotionally attached to it. And Netflix stands to win in all these scenarios because the diehard fans are also your best promotional tools, but also, they're going to be the ones that actually fund a lot of the stuff that you want to put on your platform. In addition, you could have small little perks like these guys who voted for this thing and they won, and when it gets released, they get it, 2 days early, 3 days early, or something like that. My last point is the part 1, part 2 releases. I'm not in favor of that. I don't have any data to go on, but I'm of the opinion you could still do the weekly releases. Like take Arcane, for example, right? They stretched that out so far. It was always trending every time on Twitter, every time like a new episode got released. Essentially, it created a sense of community because some people, yes, they can binge watch it the entire day, but that's not everybody. If you give them a week, they can catch up, they can, get up to speed without actually being left behind in the social conversation at work or wherever they are. On top of this, it also gives them time to get invested in the show rather than just like going there as a one-night stand and just leaving the next morning. My final thoughts and comments are a lot of these people that are left or right, saying something's bad and it's hurting their stock price almost immediately have no idea what they're talking about, and they should stop talking about that because honestly it annoys me, but it actually shows how stupid you are. And all they're doing is they're probably doing it on purpose too, to pander to their audience, and that's not helpful to you or your audience in any way. But maybe I'm entirely wrong about this and they know something that I don't know. They just don't show it because they don't think their audience is going to be interested in it. They're just trying to cater to what their audience wants. But I just don't think it's right the way to keep presenting it in a single fashion and say like, oh, look, the consequences of their stock price is dropping, go broke. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Just remember, just because you're a day trader doesn't get to trade every single day.